Hi guys, welcome to Eight of Cups Tarot and welcome to your astrology for April. So I'm trying to figure out all different ways to make these videos a little bit more efficient, time efficient for you, for me, for everybody. So what I decided to do was create kind of an overall astrology video, pre-record it before every video. So that way, if you watch multiple videos, you can kind of just fast forward through that. There'll be timestamps below and within the comment of every reading. So I'll make sure to get the timestamps in. That way you don't have to watch this 12 different times and I don't have to say it 12 different times, which makes me super excited. So really cool stuff for April. I feel like this is a month I've been saying there's gonna be a good month. I swear, in all of these, really dense and heavy months we've had for over a year now, everything has seemed very heavy. And April's gonna come in and it's gonna be like shot out like a cannon, okay? I'm picking up elements of like that northern hemisphere spring fever kind of stuff. Now, as I'm recording this, there's actually stuff going down with the spring breakers in Florida, and I think that kind of talks about the overall energy for April. Everybody gets to be let loose. There's a lot going on with the vaccines, so everybody's feeling a little bit more confident about stepping out socially. It's kind of like a purge. Now we've got so much action from Venus as she's starting this new cycle, which she's doing right now along with this entire last week of March. And she's really going to culminate with these moons on the Aries Libra axis this month. We're stepping into a lot of cardinal energy and we're bringing back the cardinal squares. It's a little bit of a tense time, but really in a good way. So Venus this month is kind of resetting our values and our priorities, right? But it's much deeper than the wanting. I feel like all year we've all been kind of like having ideas, or like, oh, I didn't realize I kind of really do like this thing over here. I would be interested in doing this thing over here. But now it's actually in the way that you feel. So if you're in jobs or relationships or any type of situation that isn't really speaking to you, it's going to get uncomfortable now. The universe is going to make you uncomfortable now. Pluto steps in this month and he really wreaks some havoc on our values, on our ambition, our relationships, and he questions, are we in the right place? And he teaches a lot of lessons and he's very intense. So there's all this flirty, fun energy. There's a lot of possibilities to meet some really profound people in our lives this month. We're working intensely with the nodes, so it's a very karmic month as well. And we have this dance all in the same sign. These planets are so active and there's so many aspects, and yet nothing that's, super heavy. Like I said, there's a lightness, there's a quickness to this month. Things are going to move very quickly. So going through the month, we're starting out with the Venus sextile Mars, which is going to give you that feeling like you're ready to get back out in the world. There's something that's very confident, very sexy about this Venus sextiling Mars. It's very flirty, it's very communicative, it's very expressive, and it's very courageous. If you are looking to date or start new relationships, it's a really good month for the dating profiles, okay? Towards the end of the month, we've got some Sun, Uranus, Venus, Uranus aspects coming in, which literally can translate into meeting people over the internet. So it's kind of a good time. And not even just dating, but even if you're getting into like specialized groups or groups that kind of hone in on your interests, you could have a lot of luck meeting other people, like-minded people, people that kind of vibe on your level. They enjoy your stuff. It's kind of almost a resetting of the tribes in a way. So expect to meet new people. Invite that energy into your life. Now on the 9th, we've got Mars square Neptune, and this is a little bit of a hairy part of the month. There's an element of dishonesty, and it could even lead to disappointment, and this could be where we put some really high expectations on things, on people, and we get pretty disappointed. And it's okay, because the thing is, we're really learning to be, independent on our own and not searching for things within others. Now, we have Pluto going retrograde at the end of the month. So all month long, all planets are moving forward, full steam ahead. But when Pluto hits that point, it means we've got to reset psychologically. So you can expect April to bring in the situations that makes us feel the need to self-analyze. And this Mars square Neptune is going to kind of lead up to that self-analyzation. What are some of your bad habits? Because in April, you're going to want to jump into things. So if you're somebody who just kind of jumps into love, then you could probably expect some harsher lessons. People don't turn out to be who they said they would be. Jobs don't turn out to pay what they said they would pay. Things aren't going to meet your expectation. It's also a time where you could slip into some pretty negative thought patterns. There could be some paranoia that comes up, having an issue trusting people, misjudging situations. There could really honestly just be innocent miscommunications as well. So take a look at that energy. Again, it's going to be things that later on in the month you're going to really want to look at. Why do I do this thing? If you're somebody like, for example, you're dating and you tend to ghost people, obviously it's because there's something within you that makes you feel like you can't communicate your feelings. So you might be in a situation where you ghost somebody or somebody ghosts you, and you really have to look into why these situations are a recurring pattern in your life. Just, a random example. That's how that energy will play out. So then we roll into the 10th, and we've got Venus sextile Jupiter, and this is like one of the sexiest days of the year. If there is an opportunity to go on vacation, go out of town for the weekend with your partner or your friends, do it now. It could definitely talk about overindulgence. So, if you've been working really hard at paying down debt, this will be kind of the weekend where you're like, well, screw it, let's fly to Florida for the weekend and really rack up those bills again. So you want to be careful of that. You want to be careful of any kind of overindulgence, especially because we're still in that energy of Mars square Neptune. So careful about the people that you meet. Don't trust people that you don't know, okay? Kind of look out for your drinks, keep yourself safe. Again, it feels sexy, it looks good, there's like a serious attraction, and yet it could disappoint us in the end. So just remember to love yourself and make good, safe decisions. We're rolling into the new moon now, mid-month, 22 degrees Aries. This is on the world point. I expect this to be kind of one of the bigger moons that plays out collectively. You're going to see a lot of action collectively as well. Probably not huge mind-blowing events, although the moons can bring that in. But like a lot of fast information, situations changing, the story changing, like this is true, no, that is true. Remember, we're in Gemini energy, so most likely both sides of the story are kind of true. If you recall back in last May, Venus was traveling through Gemini and she went retrograde. And I remember thinking to myself, when we're in Gemini energy, which I have a hard time with because I'm all earth and water, so the air energies are a little bit tricky for me. So I always try to remember the Tao at that time, like everything's about being balanced. Try not to feel too much, try not to get too invested, stay in the middle and remain calm. And so as this year rolled on, the nodes are in Gemini now. Mars is in Gemini. It's meeting the North Node. It's definitely a good time to keep that information in mind. It's always best, you know what's best. Separate from self, protect your energy when you have to, and trust your gut, trust your instinct, This new moon in Aries is all about trusting our instincts. Trusting, even when we're in bad situations, bad relationships, we're in bad jobs, some people tend to stay in that discomfort for a long time. That discomfort becomes their comfort. Anything that's familiar, we can get stuck in. Now, March had a lot of trine energy, and sometimes I think about that trine as where we build ruts. Well, we follow the path of least resistance, and the path of least resistance is just doing the same thing I always do. If I can avoid change and everything stays the same, then I don't have to deal with the drama. Okay, great, but then if you're not particularly happy with your life, you actually have to take action to change it. So March was kind of like here's your ruts, here's where you're stuck. And April comes in and it throws a bunch of sextiles, a bunch of squares at us all month long. Boom, 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 every day. And it's like opportunity, something that needs to be broken through. Opportunity, breakthrough. Opportunity, breakthrough. And if you look at every situation that comes up this month as, okay, I'm not going to take it too hard on myself. I'm not going to beat myself up over this. I learned from it and move forward. If you're honest, if you communicate, you could probably skate through this month and really enjoy some of the nice opportunistic stuff that comes your way. If you get stuck in the rut, if you put your feet, if you really dig your feet in and refuse to learn the lesson, or, if you get an energy of refusing to say you're sorry, or refusing to discuss anything or talk about things, again, you're going to stay in that rut. You're going to stay in that rut as long as you want. Again, it's a karmic month, making karmic decisions. There is an element here of the things that you choose in April are pretty long term, especially the end of April. So we're rolling into these new phases. We're rolling into the new us. And ultimately, in this Aries energy, we really know what's best. We know at a soul level, and by that we start to actually repel some of the things that we may have attracted to ourselves in a lower vibration. Again, if you're dating people or in jobs where you're really unhappy and the energy is toxic, what you found tolerable will completely become intolerable. Like, you cannot stay there. This universe is making you super, super uncomfortable. Now, middle of the month, we roll into some Pluto energy. We've got Venus square Pluto, then the Sun square Pluto, and then Mercury square Pluto. Okay, a lot of energy into the transformation. Pluto's still hanging out at the end of Capricorn. We've been going through this for a couple years. This is stuff that's lingering from 2020. It's things about the structures in our lives that need to change, and the Sun, Mercury, and Venus all making this square to Pluto are going to make them really apparent. Okay, this is the ruts, or this is why you stay in the ruts. If there are issues like self-worth issues, obsessive thinking issues, and Pluto can bring about like some pretty intense and fatal attractions as well, especially Venus square Pluto, I always call my fatal attraction. It can really point to how you are, and even with finances, those bad habits, those mistakes you keep making, think about Capricorn, you think about Pluto, and I think the Devil card, and it's like those things that call to us, that thing that says, yeah, but you could just buy one more shopping spree, or have one more bottle of wine, or, one more night out. And it's always that voice that whispers, go ahead, you could do one more time. And it's really an area of ourselves psychologically that's holding ourselves stuck in these patterns. We have to start looking at them, and we have to start changing them. We have to start acknowledging them. At the same time, we've got Venus making connection with Chiron, so we're in this super healing energy. The things that you figure out, the things that bubble to the surface, the underlying control issues within your life, A lot of things can have control over us. It doesn't necessarily have to be people. You know, it could be an abusive relationship. It could be a sexual relationship that you stay in even though it's really not meeting any of your emotional needs. It's where you sell yourself short and you get stuck in the bad habits and you think too little of yourself to make the big changes so that your life can actually improve. There's no doubt we're going to be moving towards the better things, the healthier choices. So right now, the universe is going to point out all of the negative habits that we have. We have got to meet them head on. And again, a reminder that Venus in Aries is going to say, this time I'm going to value myself. So maybe you made decisions in the past where you kind of didn't stand up for yourself or you didn't want to create a confrontation. You know, Aries, Venus in Aries, no, there'll be a confrontation, no problem. It could even get really explosive. I'm going to tell everybody, watch your tempers mid-month. Watch the way that you talk to people. Watch the things that you say. This energy can kind of make you say things you really will regret, like the things that you can't take back. Yeah, it's an intense part of the month. It can also be really intense in a good way. If you are meeting somebody new in the middle of the month, please be careful, okay? Again, we're still in that Mars square Neptune. Got the nodes squaring Neptune. You got to trust your gut instincts, not other people, okay? You could honestly meet people that are very powerful or kind of use their power negatively. People that are very manipulative, people that could hurt you financially, hurt you sexually. So you just want to be aware of those situations. You could meet somebody, there could be a really intense attraction, and then it could turn out to be, like a crazy Lifetime movie. So just be careful of that energy. Moving on into the middle of the month, we've got the Sun conjunct Mercury at 29 degrees. This gets really interesting. Not usually a big deal. The Sun makes a cazimi with Mercury multiple times a year. They travel very close. It's the degree that I find particularly unsteady. So at 29 degrees, Aries is, or was, for example, in America, the day that the Capitol was breached. It has that explosive, bubbling up energy. And because it's so close to all of this Pluto energy, you want to be careful of your surroundings, okay? This could be some kind of out of control, anger, rebellion kind of thing that we've got going on. And that starts around the 20th and it moves through the end of the month. So, you probably expect some sort of civil unrest. You could probably expect some kind of, protesting. Be careful in your neighborhoods. Just be careful of your surroundings. Sun conjunct Mercury at 29 degrees Aries also, in our personal lives is a great opportunity for you to really stand up for yourself. So if you're in negative relationships, in abusive partnerships, in jobs that take advantage of you, you're going to have the strength to say it. You're going to have the strength to change your environment here. So take advantage. This is just a starting point. We've got Venus conjunct Uranus, which brings sudden changes in, relationships and money. Now, this is kind of one of the times that Venus met Uranus in the sky was when that Robin Hood thing happened. So you could kind of expect something else like that. Now, it might just be a continuation of that story. We get a little bit more or something more happens in the stock market, but usually it's something collectively within the economy or, finances. So Venus conjunct Uranus in our personal lives is, meeting somebody out of the blue, breaking up relationships, it's sudden events like that you can't possibly predict, like a house catching on fire or, car accident. So, and I don't say that to scare anybody, but these are things that happen in our lives that in a split moment can change everything. And I think we're dealing with a lot of big decisions. And it's like that split moment when you make that decision that changes everything. It doesn't have to be scary. Sometimes Uranus brings some very positive developments. It could also represent with the Pluto energy transformation instantly with money. So, luck, gambling, winning the lottery, things that transform your life forever. So then at the end of the month, we have Venus square Saturn, and this can carry an element of isolation and loneliness. I am kind of leery of something happening where we kind of have to shut back down. I don't see it being a long stint, but there might be a pullback of energy. Now, the Venus square Saturn is the pulling back. So if you've had a crazy April, you went on vacation, you spent a lot of money, you bought new clothes, because God knows we've all been like in our sweatpants for a year. So it's kind of exciting to go out and buy new clothes, right? And have plans and go and see people, meet people and date. Like, that's fun. And then like the credit card bill comes and on the 25th, 26th with that full moon, 7 degrees Scorpio, again, another financial placement, another world point, ironically. Again, more financial developments. Of course, Venus is going to move, her way into some pretty crazy transits in the next few months. So you can expect stuff with the economy to really be unstable. Remember, if you want to keep a leg up on things, get some money in savings. Be careful with your money. Be careful with your investments. I know it's fun and we all deserve to have a good time this month, but there is always consequences. And when Pluto goes retrograde at the end of the month, like I said, that's a credit card bill. That's the consequences. So you can expect that to come in. And then there's like the reconciling with that full moon. In Scorpio, it's intense and it's deeply rooted. And whenever we have moons coming up in any of the fixed signs, Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, or Scorpio, you can expect some more big changes. This is the element. Again, everything was in Aquarius when the Capitol was breached, and that kind of changed everything forever. So, guys, we're in such an element of change. It's really important for me to point out, I know a lot of us are like, all right, I'm ready. I'm really ready for life to take off. I'm ready for these things to happen. And I think it's really important to understand that there's like not a lot you can do right now. Pluto's making all of these squares. You really don't have control. The universe has control. It's really, if you've been manifesting, if you've been doing the work, this is where you're like, all right, I have faith. The universe is going to bring it in. The Hierophant card, Taurus card, and you have faith and it works. But if you've got a lot of deep-rooted doubts, self-worth, value issues, lessons that you have to learn, guys, we're not in an element of settling. Uranus will not let us settle for any of the things that we settled for in the past. We're changing and we have to allow the changes to come in. So it's a really beautiful month, guys. It's super exciting. Just be careful and take care of you. Most important this month. Know your surroundings and take care of yourself. All right, guys, let's get started on the cards. Hi, Cancer. Welcome to 8 of Cups Tarot. Welcome to your cards for April. So you guys got a chance to listen to the astrology portion of the month. We know that it's a pretty active month. We know Mars is out of bounds. Venus is in a very aggressive sign. There's a lot of tension. So if you're in good places, the happiness is flowing. But if you're in places, relationship situations that aren't happy, things could feel pretty awful. Our emotions are kind of all over the place this month, like a roller coaster, because we have so many transits going on, and especially with Pluto. So we know it's going to be an emotional month. So I'm super excited because your energy is coming out as that of the messenger of earth. Why do I like the messenger of earth? Because it tells me that whatever you are going through, it's probably a valuable lesson. You know, the messenger of earth is somebody who's in a student form. And I see that you are learning a valuable lesson about timing. On the other side of this, your environment energy is that of patience, same as the Temperance card, which oftentimes to me dictates the idea of divine timing. You might be at the mercy of other people's timing right now, and I'm not sure if that situation is boding very well for you. Now, the first three cards out, not to be ignored, we have the Wheel of Fortune, the King of Wands, and the Four of Coins. A couple of things going on here. Now, the Wheel of Fortune does indicate, and it's right next to your card, the Wheel of Fortune indicates that you are having a change of heart, a change of fortune, quite literally. Maybe your status has changed. Maybe your feelings for somebody specifically, sorry guys, specifically this King of Wands character may have changed. Now, the Wheel of Fortune could suggest that you are looking to progress or take a situation to the next level because you're coming out as a messenger of earth. It's very slow moving, and you may feel as though this person is kind of dragging their feet. If you are looking for a commitment of some kind, or, you know, the need to know where this whole thing is going to go, I think that you're going to have to push back a little bit this month. Now, I say that because we've got this page of, the Four of Pentacles here, and there's always an element of withholding with the Four of Pentacles. Could indicate that this King of Wands is kind of pulling his energy back, or, you know, and please don't pay any attention to the gender. This could be vice versa. This could be, you know, feminine or masculine. It's just kind of the description they're giving me. When I see a King of Wands, I feel somebody with a very strong personality, but I'm not picking up any negative elements from this person. You know, he's not surrounded with the Seven of Swords. I don't pick up anything like that this person would be lying or cheating. I just feel as though you are looking to take something in a certain direction, and this person may be investing in something else. The Four of Pentacles, especially because it comes out directly above this Six of Pentacles energy, this has resentment written all over it, and probably a little bit of mirroring. Now, when you are in a normal relationship, and this happens in every single relationship, no matter how great, no matter how bad, one person is usually giving a little bit more than the other. Now, in a healthy relationship, we can look at that as the idea of holding space. Okay, well, this person's going through a difficult time or a difficult phase, or a time when they have to devote more time to school or work or their career or their goals. And then we hold space. We honor this person, and we trust this person, and we give them space to do the things that they need to do. And when I see the Four of Pentacles and I see the Six of Pentacles, this kind of feels like somebody who's keeping score. You know, this can get really petty and actually pretty ugly in relationships. Well, I bought dinner the last 4 times. He's not spending money on me. She's not doing this. You know, I mean, it's just silly, petty stuff. And I'm not sure if that's the healthiest scenario to be in a relationship, is counting and comparing what you are doing to each other. Now, I say that, and yet, you know, if you are dealing with somebody who's very selfish, then that's not healthy for you to be in that scenario either. And so you have to really address and assess the situation this month. You have to question why you are feeling this way. You have to question your intentions. and whether you want to be here anyways. Underneath this Wheel of Fortune, we have a Page of Wands in reverse. There's a lot of stop or go energy here, like wanting to get things moving, but they're not actually moving. Wanting to go in a, you know, wanting to leave the scenario altogether and not actually leaving. And I think this Page of Wands in reverse definitely indicates that you don't really know what you want. You don't really know what you want to do in this scenario. And that is perfectly okay. Except for the problem is you are not okay. Underneath this Page of Wands is a Nine of Swords. And the Nine of Swords is honestly my least favorite card in the deck. I really don't like when this card comes up because most of the time this Nine of Swords energy is unnecessary. This is where we stay up all night and can't sleep and can't eat and can't function in day-to-day life because we are so stressed out over scenarios we don't have control over to begin with. And I think it's really important to remind yourself that no matter how stressed you get, no matter how much worry you pour into this scenario, it's not going to change it. And in fact, if you are looking to change the scenario at all, it's best to let go. Now I look at this Nine of Swords and I'm kind of, there are no coincidences. Today I was kind of I was listening to some Ram Dass lectures, and there's always a story, it's one of my favorite stories he tells about the Maharishi, where villagers would come and they would pray to him and say, "We're suffering." And he would say, "Oh, good, I love suffering." And people would look at him like, "What?" And he said, "Suffering brings me closer to God." And I say that because we've got you as this messenger of earth. And underneath that card is the oracle card, Skunk Spirit, Know Your Worth. And I think there's a very divine and orchestrated plan that Spirit and the universe has for you. The reason why you're going through this Nine of Swords energy. And that's so that you can learn that you really don't have control to begin with. All that really matters is how you feel about yourself. And when I see the Know Your Worth card come out with the Page of Wands in reverse, Page of Wands in reverse is pretty immature behavior. Page of Wands in reverse is acting kind of out of sorts. It's oftentimes, mean or immature conversations or not sharing feelings really at all. The Page of Wands can also indicate a lack of interest, and maybe this person, maybe this King of Wands character that you are going after seems to be pulling back their energy, Four of Pentacles, making you feel like they are losing interest. And maybe this means that you are losing interest. If you are in a scenario where you want somebody to stay who doesn't want to stay, it is really ultimately best to let it go. Now, I don't mean let him go or let her go or quit your job or get out of the situation. Just let the whole situation go. Allow the suffering to have served its purpose. See, underneath the Skunk Spirit, we have that win-win outcome is forecast. Full moon in Libra, which is exactly where we're at right now. You are in a full moon in Libra phase. This is about learning how you relate to others, your energy, and how it affects the outcome of your relationships. And because we have this center card, very center, most important card in the reading, we have the Eight of Cups in reverse. Eight of Cups is a card that indicates the moving on, knowing that it is time to move on to something better, knowing and understanding that you're being called in a different direction. Eight of Cups is not an easy decision. There's clearly, there's clearly emotions, there's clearly love. It's not an easy thing to move away. And when this is in reverse, this can feel a little bit stuck. But you have this Wheel of Fortune. So first and foremost, Cancer, I think that maybe you don't realize that life is moving in a certain direction, whether you know it or not. And yet we have this Eight of Cups energy, which shows me that you're kind of dragging your feet, kind of stuck, hoping that it's going to go a certain way. There's really one of two ways this could play out. Because we have the Eight of Cups in reverse and the Justice card with this Page of Wands, this is kind of the universal law of creating the resistance. Ooh. One of the things that I always find ironic in relationships, and we all do it, is that you feel somebody kind of pulling away and then you're all in their face like, what are you doing? Who are you calling? Where are you going? When are we going to do this? When are we going to do that? You said you'd do this and blah, blah, blah. And you just feel the need to point out every single reason why this person is not fulfilling your needs or your expectations. And then we're all like, yeah, but I don't know why he doesn't want to come home. I don't know why they don't want to be around. I don't know why they don't want to work on the relationship. It is quite honestly because somebody in this scenario is making it hard to work on. Now, you might have every right to be in that scenario. I'm not saying that you don't. You might be in a relationship where you quite honestly deserve more. You might be with somebody that isn't treating you in a way that you deserve, and then you have every right to walk away, but the point is you walk away. And I think it's pretty clear that the worst case scenario is that you just stick around and waste time trying to make somebody into the version of themselves that they are not. And I get this feeling like whether you realize it or not, you have manifested change and forward momentum in your life, and the universe has understood the request. And in order for there to be forward movement, you have to release a scenario. Now, it doesn't mean that it's gone forever. It doesn't mean that it's gone at all. But just the very fact that you've released it, that you're not trying to control it, and that you're not trying to make it into something it is not, is the ultimate lesson. Now, we have this Four of Coins. The Justice card is exactly what I'm saying. It is that universal law, is that you get the lesson that you've asked for. You get the manifestation that you've asked for. If you want forward movement in your life, you cannot have it unless this scenario changes, unless this person shows you the justice, shows you the time that you deserve, the investment in you that you deserve, or you walk away because you know you deserve better. And because this Libra card is here, it's a win-win situation. See, I think it's pretty obvious that you will gain more respect if you just simply say, I'm not going to deal with anybody who gives me any less than whatever it is your needs are. Okay? When you allow people to show you who they are and you don't try to change them, you save yourself a lot of time and aggravation. But I like that this Justice card is showing up right underneath this King of Cups, which shows up right underneath this Six of Cups. This little scenario over here is pretty nice because this King of Wands with this Four of Pentacles might just be somebody who's kind of in it for the moment or kind of in it for the sex. Let's just say that. No real plans for the future. Now, that's not to say that they don't love you or respect you, but that's just kind of where they're at. And you seem to be in a different place, and you seem to be in a place where you want to experience really true love, you know, somebody who's emotionally available, somebody who has time and energy to spend with you and on you. And because he shows up right underneath the Six of Pentacles, and you've pulled the Justice card, again, the universe wants to give you the things that you've always wanted. The universe wants to give you the things that you have been manifesting. They just may not come in the package you expected them to come in. You got this Patience card, which is a promise that they heard you and they're working on it. And the only thing that you have to do is give up your sense of control. Right underneath that Patience card, we have card number 17, the Fates. This is the Serenity card. It is, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Now, I want to actually take a second to read you the relationship message that comes with this. Other people are who they are. You can't change them. The challenge is to accept them as they are and not try to make them otherwise to suit you. This is a time to look at how you attempt to mold people to fit your view of how they should be, so you could remain in the relationship and avoid discomfort. What if who they are, or whatever is happening between you and them in this situation, is perfect from the perspective of spirit? Remember what I said? They have a plan, they have a lesson. You're learning something very valuable from this. Underneath this King of Coins, we have the Wanderer, card number 0, which is a card of Aries. And because it's in reverse, this is you giving up control. This is you stopping, trying to dictate how this thing is going to turn out. And I think this King of Cups has a lot to do with this Fool card in reverse, which is ultimately all about this Oracle card of self-love. Show me how to love myself. Show me how to take care of the inner child. Show me how to be kind within. When you step into self-forgiveness, so much can change on the outside. Yeah. Relationship dynamics can bring out the best and the worst in us. And if we are trying to control or turn someone into something, you know, with the planets the way they are, with the Saturn-Uranus square, any kind of resistance is futile this year. It's a waste of time and energy that should be put in yourself. If you are dreaming of an emotionally available relationship, you're not going to turn this one into that. But you can move on. And you could stay in that raised vibration and you can attract it to you. Or you can move on and show this person how confident and, you know, self-assured you are that you can move on. Quite simply, when you feel that you physically need somebody in your life, you automatically create a resistance. This other person will begin to feel, even psychically, that dependency. And it almost instantly repels in every situation. And things can get ugly. That Page of Wands in reverse, you're going to want to really be careful about the way that you're thinking and talking to this person. Because there's really no clear answer here that this is going to work out or not. I think it's dependent on everybody's personal situation. Ultimately, the lesson is you deserve a certain kind of relationship. And if this person doesn't meet it, then you have to move on and find someone that does. And it's clearly the best case scenario because the universe is trying to bring in exactly what you desire. You don't have to fight it. Just have to go with the flow this month. It's definitely going to be an exciting April, Cancer. Please understand that regardless of who or what is cooperating, you are absolutely fine. There is nobody on this earth that we require to be here in order to survive. I often think of this year with the Saturn-Uranus square and all of this energy of us breaking out of our comfort zones. And I think of that saying, I never knew anybody that changed their life that did it because they liked the way their life was. And I'm sure I butchered the way you say that, but point being, the universe tends to make you really uncomfortable so that you're brave enough and courageous enough to make the change. And that's really what these stars and these activations are all about. The courage to know what you deserve and the courage to make the changes within yourself and not within or for anybody else. Remember that, Cancer. It's going to save you a lot of time and energy this month. All right, guys, I do hope that you have a wonderful spring. I hope you have a wonderful Easter. Enjoy some time with your family, and I will be seeing you soon. Take care, guys. Lots of love. Bye.